It's time for Power Hour.
Gentlemen in the mix.
Hello, traders. Welcome to the gold stream, where, my God, it's going crazy. We'll look at it, but we're just starting the stream with Googl because Googl is the king today, up over 9%, up a little bit after hours, new all-time high actually after hours. But there it is, man. Beautiful channel. Hits the top of it, and then news. You know, we talked about this yesterday, but this is the first realized candle of the catalyst. So huge volume spike, got the makings of a breakaway gap, meaning like, yeah, you may pull back and retrace a little if it happens, probably will a little bit, but you're probably not filling this gap anytime soon. This is probably going to be similar to a Microsoft breakaway gap in May.
Hey Mitch, hope you're doing well, brother. Can we take a look at BRZD Nasdaq? Just pull the rug, Altcoin dragging.
Anonymous, thanks so much, dude. We will look at that. Thank you for the quick contribution, the tax-free tip. Thank you, Trump. Yep, we will look at BRZE on the Nasdaq. Pull the rug alts, dragging. Well, you know, we're gonna talk about crypto, and it's not as great. I mean, like, it's cool that Ethereum held, Bitcoin held a little bit, rallied a little bit, but you see that previous high? You see that high before? What are you doing? High to low, 88% retrace, below the 200 moving average, 4 hours. Just come on, man. You need to do more than that. Gold's going crazy. Google's going crazy. Apple's beginning to go crazy. Highest level on Apple since March. Amazing on some of these, but then you got the likes of Nvidia and Tesla, Microsoft. They can't really get anything going. Very. I mean, this is like, you know, the second part of the year. Our rotation's been going on. So anyway, just beautiful to see. Jesus chimes for Googl. Hit target 3 of the trade setup, and we are still awaiting target 4, which you won't believe it, the 1618. $248, $250. Let's go, dude. So let's move it to gold. It is it's artwork, isn't it? Oh my God, it's down 0.01% today. I guess it's all over. Well, we know Jim Cramer tweeted about gold today, like it's a big reversal. So that means it's probably going higher. It's probably going to see from the high to low here. The 1272 fib extension, 3600. 1414, 3656. The gold mean ratio, 3734. All prime price discovery targets. And that's it. So you're just out. You broke out technically 2 days ago. Follow through yesterday. We're on the new day now. So rejoice in the glory of watching the fourth turning, I guess. Here is silver, you know, another day, another fresh, 14-year plus high, highest level since 2011, and down 0.46% on the new day. Who cares? That is a 4-day win streak, 4-day, you know, multi-year high, 14-year high streak. So we'll see what happens today. They're pulling it back initially, but it just kind of started a couple hours ago. It's phenomenal metals, but it is more concerning about your fiat and sovereign debt. Something's going on, man. Just I hope you own real assets, at least some. Crazy to think about, you know, about this little bitty, you know, our Zeke, our master metalsmith in our community, you know, created this thing, this 1 ounce gold Mitra TA coin with the Fibonacci on the back. Got me a couple of these, couple silver ones, and it's just crazy how much they've appreciated in value. And it's like, huh, didn't think that was maybe gonna be a thing, and here we are. So all right, metals, you know, gold, silver. We'll go to Bitcoin now. And we kind of neglected the crap out of Bitcoin yesterday on stream, It's really cool, you know, like another day, another rally. But as we discussed, there are a multitude of levels here. I mean, right? 1083, 109358, 112. Below that's, you know, below these levels, 106. Good news is nothing above 112 till like at least 117. But the problem is, we're in the last 60 minutes of trading on the day, and we were well above 112, and now we're not. And it's like I was discussing on the 4 hour, you just got this situation. The deepest retrace from the minor high to low. It's just like, it's not good enough yet, man. It's not good enough. It's not enough evidence that it's great and a big reversal is impending. You know, it's not like you're still in a short-term downtrend since the top. You just are.
Mitch, are we even getting richer by holding gold? I have a metric load of physical, but real talk, I feel like I'm just keeping buying power. Megaga.
Greg P, I would say that's better than you just sitting in this cash. All right. Even getting richer. I mean, what is gold up, you know, in what, a year? It's up. Well, we can just go back and I'm all right. Sorry, you got there. We'll look at the gold again, talk about that. 3 days just recovering off that
US
one
dollar
August 29th.
dominance going to get squeezed by other country currencies. Trump had all other countries to raise military budget. Always has been.
Sorry, thank you, Anon.
Is that a joint?
All right, well, US dollar DXY we know spring back tested, so it might be getting ready to maybe run, but I'm not sure. I'm no economist, okay? We're just looking at technicals. We're looking at your favorite assets. You know, sometimes we are able to find good trade setups. Fortunately, on Bitcoin, there just isn't one. Like, you can't make there be like a phenomenal trade setup on something just so at its height, all-time highs, multi-year uptrend. Look how steep this run really has been. Like, hey, for the holders, it doesn't matter. Like, technicals, irrelevant to the Bitcoin believer, okay? But I'm just talking about like swing trading, right? What we're looking for, like ACHR, we're looking for those gold silver miners 18 months ago. M shapes completing, you know, cycles reversing, confirmation lows, trading range, spring back tests, divergence, all that stuff. You just can't have it on an asset that looks like this. Doesn't matter if it's Bitcoin, gold, whatever. So people can take their shot, you know, without a form of real confirmation. They can be like, all right, I'll be long on Bitcoin until maybe we lose 109,358 again. Because if you lose 109,358, I mean, yeah, you got a little bit more help at 106, but to lose 106 is an easy 100K Bitcoin. That's just how it is, man. I hope it all holds.
This a request for my co-worker watching with me on the clock. Haha, Shiba /USD por favor amigo.
I mean, Shiba just, right? Bitcoin all-time highs, Ethereum all-time highs, BNB all-time highs, XRP recently all-time highs, Shiba Inu coin, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows for a really long time, and then finally put in a higher low, and then what? Nothing. No higher highs yet. So no definitive trend reversal. And that's like 99% of cryptos. And so it's like if Bitcoin just on the 4 hours it's going to put in a lower high and can't break 112 and start selling off 109,358, it is going to be so bad for these altcoins, and it always is going to be like that. But yeah, we will certainly look at that, Michael. Thank you, dude. And thank you for a coworker watching with Michael on the clock as you're at the fiat mines, G-Dog calls them. Mine your fiat, and as soon as you mine it and you pay your taxes, then make sure you buy hard assets, or assets that will keep up or outrun inflation and monetary debasement, which is like rapidly happening, and I think gold is telling the story of that. So anyway, that's Bitcoin. 112, you might be great for 117, but you're not breaking it yet. I hope you do, okay? I hope. And in the shorter time scale situation above my head, I just hope that somehow we can make a higher high locally. So in the short term, we can say the trend's reversing. So we have a short-term uptrend. We are currently in a short-term downtrend, right? Where you have, the all-time high, shooting star reversal, then this low here, then the lower high, then the lower low, lower high, lower low. Lowest high, possibly. Come on, man. We got to if they pull it back, then give me an effing higher low, and then give me a higher high. And then we can start talking about, hey, the trend is reversing in the short term. That's all we got, okay? And we can look at Ethereum that is actually in a pretty interesting spot here, despite Bitcoin. They did it, man. We were talking about the rock and the hard place, where you were trading below the May 2021 old all-time high, 43.84. Like, going back, let me show you again, okay? For Michael's coworker, he doesn't know. He's just watching. See that swing high right there, an inflection point. When major resistances are created for the first time, typically they are regarded for the remainder of the future. They will be regarded as inflection points going forward.
If gold is outperforming nearly every other investment and it's not making someone richer, then it's basically impossible to gain actual wealth. Gah.
No, dude. If you just buy 2-time levered gold ETF, bro. Come on, get it together. Just kidding.
In the mix.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just mainly, I think it's China. China is buying crazy amounts of gold. They've been buying, central banks been buying golds. Anyway, they're preparing for the new world order, whatever it's going to happen. Okay, so anyway, just thank you, dude. Trying to get back to Ethereum here so we can just discuss, like, I was talking to Michael's coworker, all right, that old high, you see the major reversal, like that is it. That's like etched in time. So later you will see price action correlate. So it's really good that we got back above that level, because above this level there's really kind of nothing here until at least like $4,700+. So man, if it's real and they can keep price holding above it, they haven't been able to the past 4+ days, it's been resistance. You got a real shot of way higher, $4,700+. I hope. The uptrend is still being respected. The demand line, there was demand at the demand line, right? Going all the way back from late June. I hope it holds, man. Ethereum's looking okay here. Below 43.84, pretty sketchy, man. You might have a date with 39.50 real fast, but hey, we're not. We got nothing to worry about on Ethereum today. Good stuff, up over 3%. Then we can look at XRP. Man, that just down 0.5%. Can't catch any love. Underperforming Bitcoin today after that phenomenal recapturing of key levels. It was up 3.74% yesterday. Just indecision candle. This is a bullish engulfing candle. So no follow through yet. No real confirmation. But I'm hoping it holds. Like, you really don't want to rally and make a lower high than all these highs and this high. And so you still have like evidence of potential distribution ongoing. Distribution, less market participants than before, hence the lower highs, less. So, but you are nearing the apex of this structure, right? The apex is the convergence of the two trend lines, right? The down sloping trend line and the horizontal line, they meet. We call that the apex. Typically when you get closer to the apex, the probability increases of resolution of the consolidation structure, whether it be a huge break to the upside or a massive markdown. That's kind of where we are on XRP. So you could just think about, all right, at this point, maybe you've got like 41 days of development of this mega structure. A lot of support below you. I mean, you're okay above 272. Maybe even 265, but to lose 265 is ejector seat because the downside potential is massive. So that's just an update here. Pretty anemic today. All right, same price was trading at early August, same price. July, same price. It was trading at in March and February and even December of last year. So kind of where Bitcoin's at. You know, a bunch of, hey, new higher highs, all-time highs and stuff, but right now, same price it was 8+ months ago, and you got golden price discovery. Peter Schiff winning. He is definitely winning. Okay, XRP, Ethereum, Bitcoin, Solana. Oh, we should probably look at BNB. So here it is, Solana up against this supply line. Different than XRP for sure. Uptrending, absolutely in an uptrend. Absolutely above a key 198 level, but not above 216. 216 is your mega breakout point. That is where, remember, old levels, September 2021, you break that. I mean, that's where you go in the 230s, 240s fast, but the only thing that happened when we tested that was rejection. So still kind of contained within this maybe rising wedge that could resolve upward. Okay, just because rising wedges are inherently bearish structure does not mean this thing cannot resolve upward. So, and you could understand, you know, the size of this. If it broke to 16, that's a big measured move upward. So all dependent on Bitcoin, man. And Bitcoin, again, in the short term, you have to say definitively is downtrending, because lower highs, lower lows consecutively, discernible, visible, recognizable. You can see it above my head. So pretty flat today, up 0.26% after testing that supply line once again at the highs of day and no higher. Okay, BNB. Not good, man. I mean, piece of data today is like, oh, we could have had a chance, and okay. I mean, like, you're not dead yet, okay? Like, there's no confirmation of any sort that this is real. That slanted neckline, that old all-time high from late July, you can see the price action. My God, it's like a movie. Where, okay, the potential momentum shifting structure, right? When you go from the high to the higher high, and then all of a sudden you have a lower high, right? Momentum is shifting into the hands of the sellers. You now are, like, your most recent piece of data, I think that's maybe going on today, is that old all-time high is being regarded formally as resistance, and that's it. And that's, you want to break 860. If you're like a huge bull, and we want this thing to go back into price discovery, let's go to $1,000. You want to break 860 effortlessly. No problem, man. Take out the previous high, 881. No problem. This is a joke. It's so effortless. But they're not doing that yet. And that's why it's just like, I have concerns, right? Concerns until we are above 860. So just continue to practice caution on an asset that, look at it, man. There is no value here, even if it continues. It resumes price discovery. We go to $1,000. For the person sitting on the sidelines, it's high risk. It just is, even if it's going higher, because we know on the daily you've got that really well developed bearish divergence on the oscillators. You just do. I hope it keeps going. I want us to see $1,000 soon. But we got to break 860. We cannot just reject 860. So work to be done. Not too much more work, right? That's not too much work. They could easily do it if Bitcoin just breaks 112, breaks 113.5, breaks that 200 moving average in the 4, 114.5, breaks 116, heads to 116. You know it's breaking higher. But just for now, that's where we're at, the data today. Tomorrow, we could be above it, and we're going to discuss it then, just saying it's a high, the slightly higher high. Not the worst thing in the world, right? Still higher lows on the bottom side, so still some more than before, so it's not the worst. It's really not the worst thing. Okay. What's up, Hoarder, man? My God. Okay. So those are your bigger cryptos, man. The bigger cryptos. How the DXY do today, just real quick. US dollar currency index, the springback test, and it's down 0.16%. It's been chopping around. the greater part of a month, and that's it. Still putting in higher lows than previous. It would be really, I don't, what's a stronger DXY really going to do the markets? I'm not sure. Sometimes I've seen it where DXY is down, the market rallies. I've seen, DXY down, market dumps. I mean, like, I'm not sure, but I'm just saying, like, we're looking at price action. You make the conclusion how you will about it. If you are watching an asset, the buyers recapture the key level that we've looked at. It is super real, going back to like 1970s, and they did the spring back test, and now you sell off, and they're unable to like test that level again. That's a sign of strength. Too much demand to see it tested again, which is more bullish locally. So I'm wondering if that's real, because in the coming days they could just sell it all back down to it. But like, you got to think, and maybe it's 1 valley, 2 valley, 3 valleys. So after such a long extended drawdown, since the whole year. So a characteristic of the DXY that we haven't seen all 2025 is now higher lows and positive price action correlation to a key level. Negative price action correlation after the run, lower highs, lower lows, and now all of a sudden higher lows somewhat consecutively. So it's just something to take note of. I really don't know how it's going to affect the markets, but if this was any other asset, right? It looks kind of goodish, better than it had been. Something's changing a little bit on it. You don't want to see the DXY go up? Well, don't get mad at me, man. Do not get upset with me that it might happen. Okay. Gold, silver, cryptos. Let's look at the S&P 500 ETF. Well, we rallied. You can thank Google. You can thank Apple for the rally today. And they recaptured the summertime channel, didn't they? They gapped it down. They gapped it up. They still never filled the gap formally. 645. Yeah, up 0.5% today. Not bad. Good comeback. And they did fill the gap on the bottom side, so they don't really have to worry about that. All right, I just hope there's 1 bottom, 2 bottoms, like local confirmation low, and we can go higher. I would really like that. Amazon's up after hours. Nice. I don't know why Amazon's up after hours. Y'all know, some sort of news catalyst. Dow Jones, that, remember, we had that formal bullish back test. We got another one. Are you kidding? Dude, I feel like it's Groundhog Day. That is psychotic. That is freaking nuts. Look at these twins. Right, we're calling this that was the Dragonfly Doji. Almost the same thing, like a double Dragonfly Doji situation, right? All this happening. Old all-time high from December and in February. It was resistance. It was resistance in July. It's now support 2 days in a row. I wonder if we're gonna catch follow-through now. Like, if that's real, it might be time to run higher. That would be in all the, I don't know how we'd be invalidating this. This is crazy. They did it like that. So that's like, you're confirming resistance as support. Yesterday you confirmed it with 1 candle. Now you're confirming it twice locally. That's pretty cool. I mean, I think that, like, that would make me think, okay, maybe it's time to run on the Dow Jones, maybe. I hope, but maybe not. It, like, that whole idea of the back test confirmed would be invalidated if the sellers took the price below 44.9. If we fell below that, it's a long way down. Very long way down. So I'm hoping it's real. Cool. Let's wrap, might as well get him up. Hey, it's Eric. What's up, Eric, man? Okay, so the Russell 2000 ETF, been nice uptrend. We saw it fall back below 234.55. Big deal from 2021, right? That old all-time high, March 2021. Okay, so now that level is being re-regarded as resistance, which isn't great. You also, like, fell back within the channel, so the downside potential is definitely there, and it'd be fine, right? Typically, and you know this if you watch the stream, but if you're newer, You see this, we call this the parallel channel tool. These two lines in the midpoint, the heart line, and it conceptualizes the trend, so you can clearly see higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. That is what a trend is. You have consecutive higher highs, higher lows, or lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows consecutively. That's how you trend. And so the parallel channel tool, the top trend line in an uptrend would be considered overbought in the uptrend. The midpoint's typically fair market value, and then the bottom trend line is considered oversold in an uptrend. So you're near the overbought threshold, and that's kind of all where we are. So, you know, no breakout, and kind of formally back tested resistance as resistance again. So yeah, not too great. Okay, those are your index funds. Nice. Craziest on the Dow Jones. Wow. And then we can look at these Mag 7s. Always important to look at the market drivers. We looked at Google starting it. That was the best performer. We'll look at Apple now. 3.81%. Highest price, highest daily candle close since March 7th. And a big breakout confirmed. Like, for real, dude. 237. That old all-time high from July last year. Also, inflection point October of last year. It's been tested as resistance in January this year, but to break that is a breakout. There is nothing here on Apple until 247. So if it's a real breakout, which we don't know, that gap is not a breakaway gap. It does not have the key characteristics of a breakaway gap. So that means it could be filling soon. It's not like Google, high volume and high price disparity, 9%, my God. But let's just say they're respecting the breakout. It's very real, and we're gonna catch follow through. Your next target above 237, given enough time, is 247. The old swing highs from February, 2 times in February. If you ever broke that, there's only one resistance left, and it's like 260 all-time highs. So good to see Apple finally catching some bids. Okay. Good stuff, man. I've been chatting for Apple. Remember down here, it was like, man, Apple sucks, dude. It can't. But they're holding the level. This is maybe in June. Is it someone could strategize an entry with a tight strategic stop loss below that level, and see what happens. And it would have taken you a while to really make anything, especially because of the drawdown in August. But man, just holding. Like, you can use technical analysis not just to swing trade, but to just take longs on assets that you want to own, right? Like, dang, I want to own Apple at some point. Well, okay. Buyers defending a key level 3 times, easy to manage risk, you know, to protect yourself if it failed. You wouldn't want to own Apple below 196. For real. Like, the downside would be crazy, 182, 176. But they wouldn't let it go any lower, which is good. Still over $3 trillion market cap. Okay. Tesla, man, I thought they were going to do it, man. I was so excited. And then they pulled the plug. They threw cold water all over the rally and was just like, we were at $343, and then we were at $334. We were up like 4%, and then we closed only up 1.44%. But despite its lackluster day, recaptured the 200-day simple moving average. Still making higher lows. Still broken out of the symmetrical triangle. We might just be early. We really might. I mean, look, you might be in trouble when you start making lower lows consecutively, but you're still just making, you still have like that valid accumulation signature. Again, it just might require patience, and you might just be early. The target's still $400+. Look, dude, when Google, the trade setup entry was posted June 26th, the amount of, people talking about that Google setup, I'm like, dude, when's it gonna do it, man? When will Google freaking do it? Like, this is, like, people were like saying, this is the worst performing Mag 7. I hate Google. Because it was so methodical, right? Entry like 171, Down here, it was 1 and 2, confirmation low, recapturing 168. And it was just this, and it was just these are daily candles. You're watching Nvidia go berserk, Microsoft was going insane, and Google was just like 0.5% a day, every day, all summer. And then finally a little bit of a rally started happening, but it took an entire month of owning Google to start really seeing some good gains again as you watched others do way better. And then some more sideways late July into August, and then, you know, just more methodical rallies, respecting the living crap out of this channel. And then finally we hit an all-time high, and now they've blown the roof off the channel, man, on high volume. So that's just how it goes. Tesla's kind of in the same spot. I think we might look back on it and be like, dude, it was only for the patient. Same like LAC. Maybe one day we'll look back and laugh and say, dude, all those times, all those days, people joking about LAC. That's where Tesla is. Just this, it's up off the entry, sure, but other assets are doing way better. I know. It's a weekly trade, man. Position trade. You're a bit old, Wall Street Mafia. Dude, I guess I'm old too. I'm only a year younger than you. Dang, dude, chat, I am old now. Confirmed. I'm old. I wasn't really old when I started streaming. Now I am. Crazy to think about. Amazon, this one's up 1% after hours. It gapped down a couple days ago. It was all right today. It was flat. We're just wondering, right? We have, like, there's data, like resistance is resistance confirmed, but maybe with the higher lows on the bottom side, we're just seeing reaccumulation. So like these areas are just pointing to the negative price action correlation to the December swing high. So it's just like, you could almost, in a way, like think about this yellow line, the 232.50, and then you've got, that's the sell wall, and then you just, it's like that. It's like you have this little bullish pennant structure. It could be good. It could be really good. So we just need to go test 232.50, and you break it, and that's when it's an easy run to 243 all-time highs, and then maybe price discovery on this one too. So it's not over. You're not screwed yet, but you do really want to break 232.50. All right. You thought I was a young buck? I mean, I feel young. I definitely feel young. All right, Meta, it was, you know, down 0.26% today. Really would like to see Meta get back above the old all-time high from February, but you're not. In fact, all you did today, buyers pushed the price of the asset up to test it formally as resistance, and that was it. So they are, for now, like today, they have reconfirmed the validity of an old overhead resistance as resistance again. That's the data piece. At the same time, this, like, you know, anchor point 1 and 2 on the top and 1 on the bottom, they did also formally regard the old demand line, right, bottom of uptrend channel. They regarded it as a supply line now. It's now resistance. So that's today. Like if, man, tomorrow we come in, we're watching Meta and it breaks 740 effortlessly, we're back. You could be in real good shape for tons of upside, but I'm just telling you what happened today, okay? And I'm not saying it's, you gotta catch follow through, man. Okay, so if it was a real bearish back test, you better start rolling over tomorrow. Otherwise, buyers gonna come back in and recapture 740. Okay, Microsoft, flat as flat could be. Down after hours though. Not too much to do here. I mean, $500 is some sort of psychological level. It's a high from June 30th, a low from July 23rd. They're trying to confirm a bottom here, but at these elevated levels, man, I just got nothing for you. This is just not like, hey, where's the value? There is no value. I hope 500, you know, if 500 doesn't hold, how effed you are. Like 467 is just on deck, and it would be normal. It wouldn't matter. It'd be the highest low in the history of Microsoft down there. So it's just a higher risk situation because it's so elevated and has just gone on such a long run. Nah, you know. This is like, it starts getting to a point, man, where you get so high on these index funds, you get so high on some of these market drivers that there's just, you run out of things to do. It's just like January and February of this year, where dude, it like is similar-ish in ways to this. Like, you're just, dude, you've been gone. You're hitting fib extensions now on these mega caps. You're up here, and I mean, maybe we're gonna spend more time consolidating, testing levels as resistance, 1618s. But dude, there's just, you're running out of things to do. Look at this. I mean, it's like 1, 2, 3 here. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, look at this. Look at this. I mean, it made like, look, they recaptured the channel at the end of the day. But 1, 2, 3. You see it. You see the rule of 3 might be there, and it's a slightly pathetically higher high than the second high. We could just be getting ready for a correction. We're just waiting. Any time now. And really, what do you got going on? Look at that. It is a rising wedge. So maybe in our wildest freaking dreams, maybe they take it to 65.35 one more time. And that makes everyone FOMO back in, and then we correct. But you're just starting to get long in the tooth. If you haven't made profit this summer, I feel real bad for you. I don't know what you've been doing. But just, you can't be surprised if at some point they do pull the plug. Just for a 5, 10%, 15% correction, it's not a big deal. It's only a big deal to the FOMO scrubs. Okay, the people that have been buying like late in the rally. Yeah, dude, I mean, you're just, times to make money and times not to lose money. Well, you just went through the freaking time to make money, man. Are you kidding me? From April to now September, 142 days of pure and utter prosperity since the Trump tweet, since the weekly piercing line. Japanese candlestick reversal was painted and cemented and tweeted about. Identified and tweeted about. So, but dude, you know what? At the same time of me saying all this, okay, just to make you stay grounded, because this is a la land. This is where people really start coming up with some stupid ideas of like, dude, it could keep going. It's like, it could keep going, sure. Just remember where we are. We are at a 1272 fib extension. You cannot, from the highest high of all time to the lowest low of that correction, we have achieved a 1272 fib extension once, now slightly twice. And you have forms of exhaustion that are certainly there on the RSI. If not correction here at your first price discovery fib extension on an index fund, fine, and send it to 1414 or 6678. But I'm just telling you, man, right? It's getting kind of crazy. All right, let's look at the last of the Mag 7. It's NVIDIA. And they recovered it. Thank God, man. Whew, you better be happy. Okay, this little rectangle here. We got nothing up here, dude. We got forms of confirmation at a 1414 fib extension and price discovery after one of the most insane multi-month rallies of all time. You know, like, that was crazy. You're finally consolidating, but it's like test, fail, test, fail, test, fail. Rolled over. But maybe they're going to pivot it here and it's going to keep running. Absolutely. It could do it, man. But it just, you're pushing your luck. I hope it just keeps going now. And we go further into la land, crazy complacency. FOMO land. And everyone just keep making the newest market participants FOMOing into this rally. They make the dumbest money of all time. I hope that happens. God, we got saxophones, dude. Nope. We're not doing saxophones today. I'm sorry. All right, those are your magnificent sevens. Okay, that's it. Let us go to AEO. The composite operator, an effing genius on this one, okay? What are you talking about, a genius? This is genius. Composite operator. Come on, man. The arrows tell you it's a cycle thing, okay? 2011, the Gartley completed. Reversed to $21, $23. Look, 2014, a big rally. Now too weak to run back up. You ran into the Chinese. This was a lost couple years. This was Obama's last year, 18 months. China recession, weak market, very weak market. Index funds were flat. So yeah, you could sold off, right back down to that support. Then you ran to that $21 to $23, overshot it. Then you formally back tested as resistance. The up thrust, back test up thrust. What kind of candle is that? Oh my God, did we just, like, for history and education, look at this, man. If you see this on the daily, you be real careful after a really nice run. You see that, you better, I don't care if it's green or red. That's a shooting star. I think magnesium laden shooting star. Maybe not magnesium, might be, what's the green color comets and shooting stars? If it's green, what molecules? Anyway, my God, what a good conclusion to a crazy run. Know your Japanese candlestick patterns. Anyway, so they took it all the way. Look, you overshot the top, you overshot the bottom. But the beautiful thing was they recaptured the key level, then they reconfirmed its validity as support. The absolutely gorgeous textbook spring back test, one of your most powerful technical indicators of all time, happened in 2020, and then it ran to an all-time high. And then that was the everything bubble, right? Remember pictures of potatoes, virtual yachts, luxury watches, monkey pictures, everything in the world, cars, houses, all peaked. We'll never see 2021 again, probably. That was a magical time. And then a huge drawdown bear market, but look what happened. 1 and 2, a couple, the beautiful framework, the harmonic framework, the same lows, 930 to $10. Years later, rallied to the top. And here we are again. And this time it was the Sydney Sweeney rally. And we're just going to gap up tomorrow at like $17. And your target is still going to be like $21 to $23. Probably, maybe a little higher, maybe not. I don't know. But that's the target area from down here to up here. Magnesium, copper, or nickel would be a green shooting star. Okay, mesogamma. I believe you, man. Phosphorus. Okay, y'all just naming out all of the different elements. So now I don't even know. Okay, I have it in my phone roll. I'll have to look at the graphic for it. Anyway, just Jesus chimes for Sydney Sweeney. Incredible genetics. I mean, great genes. The certain people are seething, and it's hilarious. Look at this Sydney Sweeney spike. The Sydney Sweeney volume candle is an all-time high on American Eagle. Based. Okay, so we had to look at it, man. It was super special. What earnings? So we do have some requests, or at least a couple, or at least one or something, right? Maybe one, maybe not. Yeah, let's look at it real quick. Here are your futures. Oh wait, I completely forgot. We gotta look at total, because total's been so nice. Total market cap. My God, man. Well, first off, we could just look at the weekly for a second. Dude, it is Remember shooting stars, by the way. This is a evening shooting star. That's some sort of Japanese candlestick reversal. Okay, it just is. The weekly, that's real. So that's very concerning of a candle. But at the same time, look, this old resistance is still being confirmed as supports. They're still holding, so we're not screwed yet. To lose that would be devastating. It would be such a quick drawdown. $500 billion sell-off. We lost the zone. But, my God. I hope it's not a big deal. So, here we are. Like, they are, right? On the daily, it looks pretty healthy. The uptrend, you're doing well. The resistance is now support.
$1 Please break out for once.
What's up, Infinite Paradox? Thanks for the 20, dude. Yeah, we'll certainly look at Baidu. Baidu, great trading range, M-ship completion, finally rallying. Like some of these other Chinese stocks, very nice. So you got good news here. You got no problems above 3.67, 3.62 trillion. No problem. Like, you are in good shape. You're still contained within this very nice uptrend, okay, since April. No problems. I mean, maybe so much demand they can't even test the demand line of the uptrend. But on the other side, not really making any local short-term higher highs yet, right? That's okay. It does look a little bit like seller exhaustion locally. It does, a little. Okay, maybe they are breaking it, right? Like from the high 1 and 2. Yeah, I think that we are getting some sort of like breakout. Okay, maybe a dragon or something. I hope it manifests into way higher prices. Yeah, so that kind of is going on today. Very nice. We got a potential breakout. Looks better than Bitcoin. Looks better than Ethereum. I mean, it looks pretty freaking good, man. I hope it is real. I hope they're falling through, but you do look at the bearish divergence there. But the bearish divergence did certainly play out to some degree. Let's hold that, man, or we're screwed. Could be putting in the highest low in the history of total market cap. That could be going on the past week or so. I hope it's real. No tease. No tease. A supply line broke, certainly. All right. Let's see here. First request of the stream. It would be... It would be Braze. Well, not a good start to your IPO back in 2021. Dude, what the Braze teams, right? The Braze creators or the insiders. It was November 2021, and that was the height of the everything bubble mania. Everything. November 10th was the top for Ethereum and Bitcoin and all that. It was over. It was literally the end. And these guys, Braze Incorporated, were like, it's a good time to IPO, chat. Let's do this thing. It's like the guy. It's like the meme. The kid with braces with the plaid shirt on. He's like, the everything bubble. Let's IPO. Collapsed. Oh my God. So, terrible start. But anyway, you got a level here, $27. I mean, you got a couple levels. So you got a big zone down here. You got a range, right? Like a big trading range. That's it. That's your range. Nice bullish divergence on the oscillators down here. So you got evidence of exhaustion, seller exhaustion. Yeah, sure. You probably got a creek of sorts. Yeah, that's a creek right there. Okay. You got like kind of like it's okay. So there are different types of like structures. This isn't like, there's no like real evidence of accumulation at all, but there could be evidence of sellers being exhausted. So it is an interesting chart because you're in the utter basement with these slightly lower lows, shortening of thrusts.
SL at 7.95 please and thanks.
What's up, Matt Campbell? Thank you for the 20, dude. Yeah, we will look at that. All right, Lunar. Yeah. So you could almost look at this like they're trying to paint a dragon. It's a dragon in the absolute gutter. A gutter dragon. Right? Maybe. Maybe. Not a very high conviction trade, but certainly an argument of impending price action reversal down here. Would feel a lot more comfortable about this asset if we could see them actually recapture 2718 and then reconfirm it as support. Yeah. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, what happened? No, we did not. We did not miss it. This is the first requested stream, Brad. Okay, I go numerical order. First come, first serve. So, 2718, big deal, man. Maybe worth taking a shot if you want, but probably would be good to just have a negligible position. It's not like a, you know, what you typically will happen is you'll get something like this, and if it somehow ends up ushering in a bottom, you'll end up eventually doing something like this, and then you'll roll over again, and then for the first time they'll put in a higher low, and then things really start turning around. Then you've got a momentum shifting situation. Right now the sellers are still in full control, but they look tired. The low, the slightly lower low, the even slightly lower low again locally, and then your RSI and your MACD histogram are implying, they're saying that the sellers are exhausted, okay, diverging. So yeah, when this happens, then the momentum shift, higher high, oh, they fill the gap and they sell up, and all of a sudden we got a higher low, and then you go from an exhaustion structure into a momentum structure that then morphs, evolves into an accumulation structure. So we can just say with these arrows, different things. So how would I do it? It'd be like, so, and then they just like vary. Like I think you always are shooting for an accumulation structure. That's going to be like highest conviction. But momentum shifting is good too. It's all right, but it's just like it's all right. It's good. It's best. Okay, so that's BRZ where we're at. Okay, it would be most coveted accumulation structure. Your strongest, highest probability of a pronounced big rally. Seeing evidence of more than before. All right, there it is. Your daily candle has closed. You closed below $112,000. Get wrecked, everybody. Jesus chimes. This will take time too. Lots of time. All right. So next request on the list was, well, there it is, Shiba Inu coin. Okay. Dude, you were going to get a Shiba. Shiba. Ugh. God, man. Just like, yep. Okay, so. Of course. There's always a chance that someone comes in and puts major bids on this and we break back above 1340 and we run to 1700 like it was nothing. But you've just got to think about like what's been happening, man. You talk about the 4 major cryptos.
Anonymous tipped $25. Oat futures, thanks.
Anonymous, thanks for 25. Yeah, we will certainly look at Oat futures. Thank you, dude. It was looking okay at one point. Trading range, bottom, M shape. So, anyway, you gotta think about the big 4 all-time highs. And then you got this thing trading at the same price it was freaking trading at in September of 2021. Here we are, 4 years later, same price. Loser. And then locally, right? April, remember what happened in April? Bitcoin goes on a huge godlike run, even Ethereum does, and Shiba can't make a higher high. But it did make a higher low, and maybe it's trying to put in another higher low. But the issue is, like, though you do have potentially 2 higher lows locally getting put in, that's great. It's more neutral because you are putting in still lower freaking highs. Bearish price action correlation to the key inflection zone. Below the 200 effing simple moving average on the daily. So though you might have a couple pieces of data on the bottom side that might be favorable for buyers, you still have complete garbage on the top side. So in the end, it's probably more neutral, where it's like more coin flip-ish here. I might like Shiba above 1340. If we could like see them do this and then maybe even this. Oh my God, dude, I'd be so excited about Shiba if we could make some sort of even local higher high and then a higher low, and it's all correlating above this gray zone. See what happened here when they defended it? You went on a crazy run, man. Like, we just got to get back above that level. We got to break the 200 moving average. We've got to do something. So that's my concern with it. Okay, I'm not saying I'm bearish or bullish. I'm saying it's kind of more neutral here because they're still trying to do the higher low thing on the bottom, but you can see how bad it is on the top. It's just like contraction probably, and that again is neutral as F. If Bitcoin rolls over, dude, it's going to 1082 easily. Just letting you know. Okay, if Bitcoin's just gonna put in another lower high here in this very short term downtrend, okay, short term, not long term, short term. You're going back down to 109, 107, 106. This thing is probably going to 1082. Okay. I'm just concerned, man. Really concerned about all this here. This makes me want to vomit. Sorry for Shiba. Can't really get excited about it until we're above that level. And instead of negative price action correlation, it's positive. Sucks. It's garbage, though. Like, despite what it does next, it's garbage because Bitcoin went to all-time highs, Ethereum went to all-time highs, BNB went to all-time highs, XRP went to all-time highs, and this is still trading very similarly to where it was at the absolute bottom of the correction, the 2025 correction concluded in April. It's awful. That's collective crypto. That's 99% of crypto. So Shiba's not just like this radioactive piece of crap, and they're all like that, man. So there's nothing special or more garbage than others. They're virtually all like this. Okay, anyway, thanks, dude. That was for Michael Perez's coworker. I hope he's still watching. Maybe not, I don't know. Might have been like, this guy's so cocky and arrogant, and I don't even know why, but someone might say that. Okay, Baidu, next on the list for Infinite Paradox. Okay, well, what's the problem, dude? What's the problem, Infinite? It was the highest price seen since March 27th, so multi-month highs confirmed today. All happening at the level of all levels where you would want and pray. You got all this, and it's real nice, man. It's momentum shifting. behavior. All that going on, man. And so anything above $85 to $87 is legit amazing. For your consequences of recapturing and reconfirming the validity of an ancient level as support, consequences could take you all the freaking way back up to 166, 150. It just takes a lot of time, man, unfortunately. So anyway, that's Baidu. Not much more to talk about. We've been discussing this thing. It's holding very well. I think you had a golden cross. Nah, it's been too much time. Yeah, you did. You did have a freaking a golden cross just days ago. Like last week, August 25th, we had a golden cross. The 50 bullishly crossed over the 200. Not that big a deal, but look at this. I mean, to be like that is real good. To be above all three moving averages. Look at that bullish fanning. The fanning. Look at the 20, the 50, the 200 are perfect. When's it like that? Typically never like that. So this is real good to see. They're all upsloping now. 200 just beginning to upslope for the first freaking time in a long time, man. I mean, the 200-day simple moving average is beginning to upslope for the first effing time since October of 2023 on Baidu. So that's the stuff you're kind of looking for with reversals, okay? At least with the moving averages and price action, okay. The extra quest, Infinite Paradox. I don't know if that helps or anything, but okay. You requested it. We've been all over this one, right? All the Chinese donks. Next one was Lunar. Intuitive Machines Incorporated. All right. Oh. Not looking at this, anything exciting. No excitement on this one, unfortunately. Looks like an incomplete M shape. Where your next stop on this asset is 687. Just called a little gray and a little inflection zone between 687 and 662. You can clearly see, I don't think anyone would argue with this being a big level, right? Support for the first time, then resistance reversal, then a perfect look at that. I mean, they gapped up and then they formally back tested it as support before what? Running up insane amounts to $25 before crashing. And then they once again tested it before another rally, but this rally was way weaker. And that's how you know this is not very good. Thank you, dude, for the 2 and the feedback. Feedback's good, man. Right? Hey, dude, you suck. You're good. Whatever, you know. Thank you, dude. So, yes, big deal, 662. So the problem is, you had this massive rally and the crash, and then this new rally that was pathetic. In fact, it was perfect in a way, because 1315, reversal from 2023, reversal from 2024, and now 2025. Not once, though, but now twice. And it's a slightly higher high double top confirmed. So therefore, there is nothing to do on this asset but wait for 662, 687. If you want to use a framework, if you want to be strategic as a trader and not a gambler, you don't do anything on this asset until the price gets back there. And hopefully, when it gets there, you know, maybe they overshoot it, they hold it, maybe you get a route, and maybe you get a confirmation low, and then all of a sudden, what would you have? You would have that same thing over and over and over and over again, the harmonic framework. The type 1 reaction, the type 2 return. And then, if all this happened, then we could construct a trading plan that is very strategic with a optimum entry, a tight stop loss, and our upside, we know would be maximum. So until you have something like this, there's no action to take. So that's your Intuitive Machines Incorporated. Thank you so much, dude. And just because it gets back down to 662 doesn't mean this is going to happen. Okay, this would have to happen if we wanted to long it strategically with good reward to risk. You could test this and they break it, and you break this crap, you're going to 541 to fill a gap and maybe even lower. So it's just all about what happens there. Okay. Thank you, Matt Campbell. Okay, oat futures, type in the chat for the oats commodities. Let's see here. ZO, that's right, ZO. Oh man, come on. What is Bush League? Not feel, I mean, like, I know where we're at, but I don't feel that great now. It looked so much better, like especially in June. But now there's no more like continuity, no more proportionate higher lows. Like this 328 to 338 level, such a big deal, man. Going back to 2008, 7, you can see support, resistance, support throughout 2011, support 2013, support 2014. You lose it, you're screwed. Then it was resistance all throughout 2019, 2020, and they broke it, and then it was gone. And then it's just been holding as support, and recaptured, and now they're like about to lose it again. And it's like, it's kind of like platinum. It's like a heart rate monitor. I don't really feel as good about oat futures anymore. Yeah, structurally, I mean, maybe it holds, dude. Like, it's not dead until the level breaks and there's follow through. So, like, you were at the precipice of an enormous crossroad on oat futures, but the most recent piece of data was bad, very bad. Negative price action correlation to key level, right? Support, flipping to resistance. And now beginning to lose that inflection zone's bottom. Like, it's just not good now. It was better, and now I'm not really keen on it. I don't like it. I want it back above 338. Okay, and until then, I don't care about oat futures. Okay, this is good for me because I eat oatmeal for fuel before my workouts. So dump this thing as low as you can get it. It was better and not anymore. Sorry, anonymous. Thank you, dude. And that was the last formal request. Okay, Bitcoin 111.759. Let's go back to it. Gosh dang, man. Like, what's their problem, dude? Like, what is their issue? Why can you just not break 112? Why does it have to be regarded as resistance confirmed? I mean, dude, just remember Asian sessions, day trading. There's first initial pieces of price action we get could be completely fraudulent. Okay, so just remember that we typically will get moves pretty quick, and then, you know, by 3 a.m. it's completely reversed, whatever happens. So just be cautious. But I'm just saying, like, gosh dang, man, can we please break 112 today and then hold it? Stop being pathetic. 112 is not a joke, man. It's not over. It's not a big deal. I'm just saying, right? Like, give me a higher high on the 4 hour. Like, you know, give me a non-886 retrace, and then that's it, you know. Let's break above 113.427 so I can feel way more comfortable about this. The Bulls did drop the ball on the close, that's for sure. And they did, but it's okay, man. We're positive. We're up $31 on the new freaking day. Bogdanov.
Every day I'm checking price, and it's rising. Check price, good price. I have underinvested by a lot.
We did it, man. All right. Pray for the futures. Pray for a price above 112. I'm telling you, if you can break 112 and it's real, like, you do have a pretty good chance of seeing 117, 116.9. I think just that major high from August. And you do have like a 1, 2, 3 situation, like on the bottom side, almost like a 3 drives, you know, the rule of 3, and the third valley happens to be correlating at a pretty strong level. Like, you got that kind of going on that could give you a more pronounced rally, but we do need to break 112. Okay, it has to happen. All right, well, chat, it's the 3rd of the month, so it's the 3rd best day to join the Patreon. Patreon.com/MitchRayTA. Patreon.com/MitchRayTA. Get trade setups, education, access to the premium Discord. in that chat. Access to my charts only. I typically post daily on those, updating you on various different assets across the markets. And above all, you are supporting my
historic
team.
level hype.
Oh, did Macy's? I think we did jump like 20%. But M? Just M, right? Macy's. Oh my god, dude. It was up 20%. Yeah. Oh my god, dude. So they're up against the supply line here. Yeah, I mean, talk about correlation. 1 and 2 here. Both these lows higher than this low. All this, you go back to like the monthly, weekly. There it is, dude. There it is, right? I mean, it's absolute insane. I haven't been on this chart in so long, but we've been here obviously and did a history lesson on the spring back test of spring. Well, guess what, Larry? 1 and 2 before this big bounce. So just the Macy's Comet once again. And see, this is what value is. This is what like critical thinking is. Like going to Bitcoin, there's just like we love and really respect Bitcoin. We know what it is fundamentally. It is one of the best inventions of all time. But for somebody like talking about value, no, all-time high premium, man, on a multi-year uptrend, you know, like, and it's kind of like, wow, parabola almost, you know, and a high, a slightly higher high with some divergence that's certainly there on the oscillators. It is way trickier up here. There's no structure. There's no strategy. You're just holding above old resistance and support, and I hope to God, I'm praying to God it holds because I love Bitcoin. Okay. But, you know, something like Macy's and AEO, there were strategies. Like you could have done things, entries, tight stops with max upside. Hitting key levels where reversals happened before, they happened again. Nothing like that on Bitcoin, and that's fine. Okay. People just get things misconflated like, oh, dude, TA, you said this about Bitcoin. It's like, dude.
If you're only investing in crypto, wrong. 4 trillion market versus 120 to 30 trillion market.
Is that a joint?
I think you ain't on. Yeah, dude, that's not the word you don't use the word investing in crypto. You're speculating in crypto. There's no mathematical way to gauge the value of any of these assets, including the bigger ones. Okay, you are still just a pure speculator on the price of internet money, and that's fine, right? Again, Bitcoin's different. Bitcoin is not crypto. Crypto is not Bitcoin. Bitcoin is Bitcoin. So yeah, of course, but again, we just use technicals here to try to navigate these traditional markets and now, you know, obviously untraditional markets. Crypto is certainly untraditional. So, but anyway, patreon.com/MitchRayTA. You know, if you want to support someone who's been creating content for free for over 7.5 years, not one time did I ever monetize except a sponsorship from an entity to promote it to you, right? All those times during the peak manias with all the money shown in my face, the unlimited emails I get daily to take money, never ever did it. So it's like, okay, you might want to support that guy who did that because integrity is there and it's certain. So you just do that and join the Patreon, and you get value from it too. Like if you want some trade setups and education and charts and you want to support my team. So I'm just saying, it's the third of the month, third best day to do it. You know, I don't tend to say this later in the month or even after the first week. I kind of don't even promote it. So wow, this guy doesn't even promote the way to crowdsource him. Holy crap. Yeah, only like 1 week out of 3. So let's get above 112, and then we could be in there could be some good consequences above 112 for real. So let's hope it happens. Okay. Yeah, Alibaba. Okay, so Alibaba, before I go, let's look at this one more time. Let's look at this asset. Okay, so someone posted like an idea about YCOP accumulation, and I tend to agree big time. So YCOP accumulation, the trading range top is 120 to 110. Okay, these two orange lines. Well, you had the backup, you had the sign of strength, which is, what is the sign of strength Sign of strength is the breakout of the trading range. The backup is the back test of the top of the trading range as support. Well, they confirmed it. Well, you got a double bottom there, 1 and 2. But then the form of confirmation is a rally back above that key level. And on the sign of strength, which is that initial breakout, you want a high volume signature. We got the high volume signature. On the backup, you want a low volume signature. Well, we sure as heck got that, didn't we? And now with the confirmation, you're starting to get some higher volume coming in from the backup. So this volume signature is there. The target is certainly 164 to 168. They'll hit that. It'll pull back some. Months will go by. Eventually, it'll retest it. It will probably, give me enough time, be at $200+. Yeah, Alibaba is in phase E now of the Wyckoff accumulation schematic. Phase E, the final phase. Okay. So just you brought up Baba for a second, so I had to talk about it for a sec. Yeah, you got some positive price action right out the gate. And crypto, man, let's go. Pump it. I need it to pump. I need Bitcoin to $200,000 plus, all right? Or else. Yep, Solana's rallying, man. Solana's up 0.42%. Ethereum's already up 0.58% on the new day. Let's go, dude. Let's go. Like, Ethereum was really good, man. That was a confirmed candle close back above 43.84. You needed that bad. It would be nice to intraday go back to 43.84 and test it as support. Just so we don't have any controversy. Because, right, when a level is recaptured that is of significance, you want to see market participants reconfirm it as support. And that would require us going back down one more time before we then run to $4,800+ okay? That would be ideal, but maybe not. Okay, that was a 1 hour, 22-minute stream, man. I did what I could. Hopefully you got some value out of it. I did, again, I try my hardest, and if it's not enough, whatever. You can only do what you can do. So thank each and every one of you for coming out. Thank you so much, chat, for the contributions and the likes and the support and everything. Join the Discord. It's free to join. There's educational resources tab in there, just the source material. Or if you're trying to get your feet wet into technical analysis, you can join the Discord, go to the educational resource tab, and it costs you nothing. So I'll see you in the Discords. Thanks for coming out. Until next time, respect with T. Hey. What's up, Texas Spark, man? Hey.
Mm-hmm.